Had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also they're a literal vampire. And suddenly my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
REI Co-op knows when you're up at 4:30 a.m. on a Saturday for a long run and you're actually excited, not everyone gets it, but we do. At REI, we're here for people who get outside. Gear up for your next run in-store or at rei.com.
We'll do the Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. We have an amazing episode today with each guest gets better and better. Today, we've got the incredible Jessica St. Clair. She is an actor, a comedian. You might know her from Bridesmaids, from Veep, and the incredible Deep Dive podcast, which definitely check out if you haven't. And then we have Paige Woodward. Paige is honestly one of my best friends in the world, but she's also a kick-ass nurse practitioner. She's Yale trained. She's an expert in oncology. She's worked at incredible places like Dana-Farber, Cedars-Sinai, and she practices functional medicine, which a lot of functional medicine people are like, oh, cancer, oh, no. But Paige is like, bring it. This is what I do. And we are all related to one another. And Paige, if you want to explain how you know all of us.
So I am an East Coast girl, and I made it to the West Coast in 2009 and joined Tower Hematology Oncology Medical Group, which is now part of Cedars. And I was working under Philomena McAndrew, who's still practicing and amazing. And I met Chris.
Paige was my nurse practitioner.
Yeah. What year was that? I don't even know.
Like
2012, 2011.
You know, I'm not the girl who keeps track.
Yeah, Chris doesn't know.
Numbers, not so much. Like 13, 15 years ago, somewhere around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I took care of Chris, and then Jenni and I were connected through a mutual patient. She's a breast cancer physical therapist, and we shared a lot of patients. And then unfortunately, I got in a horrible car accident, and she brought me back to life and became my other pea in the pod. And then Jess, are we 10 years now?
10 years.
10 years.
Ooh, and
then I took care of Jess, and we had a lot of good laughs over Ativan and Benadryl. So now I've kept my friendships, and I like to think of everybody as my good friends. Cancer brought us together.
Oh, thank God.
Together.
And Paige recently saved my mother's life.
Oh, stop.
Truly she had stage 4 cancer, and like the day before her chemo, Paige said, oh, I think there's some trials for your mom. Well, the one she's on has saved her life. So that's how powerful Paige is.
Thanks, Jeff.
The power of Paige.
That's what this that's what this podcast should be called.
The power of Paige. Jess, so nice to meet you.
Chris.
Welcome to the club, unfortunately, and the cancer club. When did you get diagnosed?
September 11th, 2015.
Just put all the trauma on one day, though. That's kind of nice.
It was so stupid. Yeah. So I got diagnosed, September 11th, and I was 38, and I had a 2-year-old at the time. So it was very terrible time. It's always terrible timing, but
mine was the same.
Yeah. Was it?
Same age. Yeah. Well, I was 37, and I had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. Oh, well, 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old.
There is nothing like that. I mean, I always say, and I don't know if this was the way for you, but in some ways it really clarified my mission. I was like, do everything to me. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care what you have to do, as long as I can stay alive. That was my whole, for my kids, for my child. Yeah. So it does actually, when I help younger women who are, in a different stage of their life, it can be a little bit harder, because they're like, well, I'm still dating and, I didn't really, I didn't care about any of that at that point.
No, me neither. It was so tough going through it with the young kids too. But it's also, it gave you a reason, right, to kind of get up. And I remember going through treatment, chemo, and thinking, how do older people get through this, especially if they don't have the young kids to keep them
But in
going?
some ways, they can rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I would say we had to fake it at that age. And I don't know what you did with your kids. My daughter still doesn't know what we went through. And when she's old enough, she will. But you have to fake it till you make it. Because at that point,
100%.
if you disappear to the bathroom alone, they're freaking out. So it's like, you just, it does give you that motor to keep going. You have a purpose for everything you're doing, all the healthy foods you're eating. When you force yourself to take a walk, it's all for them,
Yes, 100%.
And then today, what we're talking on in this topic, we will certainly come back to it because it's so big, but how the transition from being like deep into cancer land and then live the best, the rest of your life. I don't think it's as easy as doctors and healthcare people make it out to be. What do you remember, Jess, what that was like? Or again, was it just like, all right, now I'm off to nursery school drop off? Was it?
It was so hard. In some ways, I talk about it being like weirdly harder than chemo because emotionally, I had a really hard time. At first, I was like on cloud nine, and I wrote a whole season of my show about my journey and my cancer journey. And so I like relived it. Like this was during radiation, basically. I was like, in the way we do our shows, we like improvise these scenes, and my real best friend who was with me in the journey was playing herself. It was like a whole thing. And so when I was done with that, I thought, oh, it's wrapped up. I processed my trauma, but it's actually after that everything sort of fell apart for me. And I got very convinced that if my life before had somehow given me cancer, that I needed to revamp everything.
I know. And then speaking with like Paige being here, you feel when you're in that cocoon and you're finally accepting of, okay, I'm talking about like chemo and the treatments, and you have people like Paige and Jenni taking care of you and checking in on you every day, and you're in the chair and all these things. And then all of a sudden you're not. And you're like, holy shit, wait, where's my nurses? Where's my, am I doing things right? Do I need a test? Do I need to get my blood work done?
Yeah. I have a question for you too. I never had cancer. I've also never had a baby, but you hear new moms say like, wait, they're just sending me home with this child to keep alive. Is it similar? Like, and now I'm supposed to keep myself alive without,
Well, it's similar, but like there are lots of people who have babies that you can reach out to and connect to. And there are very, and obviously, unfortunately, there are more and more young women, but you're very alone. So like, I remember feeling very isolated because like my other girlfriends were having second babies and talking about kitchen backsplashes. And I was like, oh, I want to burn my house down. I didn't want to be in my house. I like ripped out all the cabinets, I couldn't move. I was desperate to move. I really caused a lot of damage to my marriage because I was angry and I had to put it somewhere, and it took a couples therapist actually to say, do you think possibly you're dealing with PTSD? And I don't know why I had to give this woman so much money for her to like 800 sessions later be like, maybe you're not mad at your husband. Maybe you just are having trauma.
That gives me full body chills. And I think we don't give, I don't know why I want to use the word permission, but why that's not something that comes up, right?
It doesn't. Unfortunately, like I wish, and I know there was a counselor, but during treatment, but like nobody comes in and is like, hey, if you're experiencing the desire to set your house on fire and like move to Switzerland, maybe you might be experiencing PTSD. And then here's who to go to for it. Because I didn't know there were certain therapists, types of therapy that you could go to. So I went to a somatic therapist, which is all about like feeling learning how to calm your body down. But that wasn't enough. And I got to tell you, last November, I found an EMDR therapist.
Oh, yeah.
And that is finally shifted it 10 years later.
Can you explain a little bit what EMDR is? I think of it as tapping, but I think it's more than that.
It's crazy. First of all, it's not for it's hard. It's hard work. But basically, their concept is that their idea is it was developed for veterans, people who have experienced or one traumatic event, like, a car accident, an attack, that kind of thing. And so they've used it for that. And basically, the whole system is that your brain, your memories can get lodged in one. So normally the brain goes, I think, from right to left. It like takes a memory, then it like processes it, and then it lets it go, or it stores it somewhere. But when you have a trauma, it freezes it because your brain is like, don't ever forget this. Like, you need to be on high alert all the time. You almost died. And so what EMDR does is, with the help of a therapist, you're holding on to buzzers, or it can be lights. But to me, it was better to do buzzers. They buzz back and forth. And first you feel the really traumatic feeling. Then they help you shift it to a different way of looking at it. And because these buzzers are going left, right, both sides of your brain are being lit up. So you're not stuck in your lizard brain where you're freaking out. It's allowing your brain actually to get unstuck and create new neural pathways. And I can say it's been a year. I still have more to go. It works. If you find the right person, it has to be someone that is all they do. It's a lot of therapists will say, I do tap. I'm like, do you? I want to know that's all you do every hour is work with people who have PTSD and help them.
And I can imagine though. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to need that number from you.
Oh, Chris, wait until you experience this woman.
Oh, yeah.
You're, in a lot of ways, she is like a mother to me. Like, she's a very calming, she almost heals the wound, by saying you're safe now. It's okay. You're safe. It's okay. And I think that's what we're all looking for.
Yes.
But unfortunately, even our own parents are so panicked. Our spouses are panicked. Nobody can tell you you're going to be okay. Medical professionals can't say you're going to be okay because they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So So anyway, did it take me 10 years? Yes. Am I hoping that someone will hear this and not wait 10 years? That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also want to acknowledge though, but for a lot of us, no matter what your emotional baggage is, it is very scary to be like, shit, now I have to sit in a room for an hour and talk about it and feel it. I've worked really hard to like put that back in the closet.
It's very hard, but also know that you never leave there, if the therapist is doing it right, without feeling better. They don't let you go until they've guided you to a safe space. And then you'll notice days afterwards, you're very tired because your brain is busy basically reshuffling everything, like a librarian going, wait, that book is here, that book is there. So you're very tired. And then after, it's almost like chemo. After a couple days, you're back again, and you do see things differently. So yeah.
I've heard so much about it, and have you guys tried it? Jenni, you haven't, but
I've done somatic therapy, which has been helping me. I did EMDR with someone who doesn't specialize in it. I'm like, this is stupid. And that was years ago. And that was the end of it for me.
That's exactly right. I tried it a little with the somatic therapist, and I was like, what the hell I'm not tapping. And I can't tap. I can't tap my leg. They should have buzzers. If they don't have buzzers, they're not in business.
They're out.
You know what I mean? They're out.
You either have the tools or we're walking out.
100%. But what was interesting is they thought that it was just effective for big T trauma, which is like that car accident or that whatever. But then they realized actually it helps with complex trauma, which I think people who have breast cancer, and again, do I have a degree in psychology? No, I think we have both, because yes, we almost died, but also what followed that could also be traumatic.
My God, 1,000%, right? Like, you lose your breast, you might lose your hair. All of it.
Eyebrows, eyelashes.
Yeah.
You're feeling like shit. Yeah. And then, I mean, Paige, you can talk to like mix that in with a bunch of steroids that people put. Don't I mean, I feel right? Like that's like talk about burn the house down.
Truth.
No,
Yeah.
we dump all these toxic chemicals into you because we want to save you. We do all this stuff to you. And then you finish and we're like, yay, the cancer's gone. See you in 3 months. And it's like, it's very traumatic. I mean, I worry about people, like people would go away and, you know, people are like, oh, I don't want to call you. I don't want to bother you. They're like, oh, I'm finally away from the cancer center. But I feel like we need to do a better job of holding on to people. And, you know, cancer survivorship is growing. Some of the big, you know, hospitals, NCI designated cancer centers have them, but it's so important. We kill you guys with all these drugs and we need to bring you back to life.
Well, I remember when Paige said to me the first day we met, and she was such a breath of fresh air. You know, I was so scared. Then Paige comes in. She's like, oh my God, you got this. She's like, if you are feeling symptoms, I'm not giving you enough drugs. Like, you got to let me know. Right. And it's like that. It's like you kind of want someone to go, here's what to look out for. And if you are feeling that, you got to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think I like to say that breast cancer really hits the most attractive women the hardest.
I agree.
Oh my God, it's obvious.
I was going to say that. So
everyone in the chairs near me were very good looking and very high functioning. But I think that if you are high functioning, you mask that you're having a hard time. And you just want to be normal again, but like your vagina's falling apart and you're like, what's that about? Everyone else is not going through menopause at 37.
Yes. And Jess, to your point, I did kind of want to talk with Paige about what are some of the things that the healthcare system can help you with, should be helping you with, but is not. Because I find talking to patients too, there are things that are like, I just thought it was a me thing, or I didn't know you could help me with my vagina on the floor or whatever.
Like, I think it's almost like women have always shared secrets with each other, but I don't want it to be a secret.
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. Paige, what are some areas you found that your patients need support after?
I think, well, now because all this menopause and HRT stuff is talked about, and I know, you know, if you're a hormone positive breast cancer, you can't have the estrogen, but vaginal estrogen is safe for almost everybody.
Yes. Louder for those in the back.
It is? Oh my
no one
God,
should suffer.
Chris, you got to shove they're tiny little pill. Like, you get it in like what looks like a miniature tampon. It's like a tiny little thing. You put it up there. It's a tiny pill. There's no mess. There's none of this fucking creams or bullshit. When I tell you,
it's life-changing.
Oh, no.
Yes.
It brings back your 16-year-old vagina.
Oh,
suddenly it's alive again.
What? I'm so happy about this podcast for this reason alone.
That and Paige, then I want you to talk again because you actually have the degree. But there's another thing. So like the entrance to your vagina, like the cervix, that's not your cervix. The like ring, right? Right at the top. That gets
the clitoris.
Yes.
No, it's
you mean like the
vulva
entry. Yeah, the actual opening.
I'm from Jersey. I was going to be like the clit.
I'm from Jersey too, Chris, which is why like I don't understand anything that's going on up there. But like whatever the entrance of can be the thing that hurts, right? When you try to have sex. And there's a gel that's like a little bit of testosterone, like 0.01 testosterone, and maybe it's a little estrogen as well. It doesn't get into your bloodstream, but you put that around the entrance of it, and that brings that tissue back to life.
What?
I also
does it lift our faces too? And do
honestly, you're not so
estrogen
angry
is your
all
friend.
the time. Estrogen is your friend.
I know, but so wait, let me ask Paige. I have a question. Who do we go to get this? Is it the OB? Is it
a great question.
Oncologist? Because I have gone to Philomena, was my doctor, and I went to her about hormone replacement. She's like, no, your cancer was really aggressive. I don't think you should. So who do we go to for something like this?
So your oncologist certainly can give it to you. And I know that she is pro vaginal estrogen. I prescribe the pill a lot because it's less messy, but some people prefer the cream. Whatever your thing is, get it. And the reason your vagina feels like it's gonna, it's falling apart and broken is because estrogen keeps everything, well moisturized and
Tight.
happy.
Yep.
And, and then we take that, all away from you because we do all the estrogen blocking. We probably put you in menopause early. So your oncologist, a lot of people are still skittish and scared, but there are so many articles, like research articles that are published and have been published continually stating their safety. And I think it's the American Urological Society put out a new guideline saying that basically vaginal estrogen is safe for almost everybody. It's in the Menopause Society guidelines. You can go to your OB-GYN, your primary care, but again, people are still skittish. I have seen so many breast cancer patients who are on, estrogen blocking therapy, like the aromatase inhibitors, tamoxifen, and they're like, I'm miserable. And I'm like, you can have vaginal estrogen. They're like, what? And they're scared. They're like, no, people said it's not safe. I'm like, okay. And then we sit and go through all the articles.
If Philomena says it's safe, it's safe.
Yes.
It's safe.
And she's been doing it for years.
I even made her like a psycho. I made her test blood to make sure it wasn't getting in there. And there wasn't any.
Oh, wow.
It's such a small amount because it's so locally absorbed. It's not like systemic, if you took estrogen replacement, it's
take a pill, it goes
going everywhere. Right.
Everywhere.
And then could I speak to your face falling apart? Because this is not obviously like
dries out
keeping us
big
alive,
time.
but I'm an actress. I cannot age faster than normal or I won't make money. And I noticed my face was like falling down. Like it was almost like I was like that droopy dog. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I was summoned to Houston by one of my best friend's friend, Dr. Jenni Siegel at Metropolitan Dermatology. And she said, come down and I'm going to build your face back up.
Oh, tell us about that. I'm intrigued.
I know this is not keeping us alive, but it also is keeping us alive.
Yeah, it is keeping us alive. Okay. I'm taking notes right now, by the way. Vag pill is at the top.
Yeah,
it's called Vagifem.
Okay, so I go down to Houston, okay, and so she's like, okay, well, basically, now she studied under a woman, Dr. Rebecca Fitzgerald, who basically was the person who, when AIDS patients were losing all of their structure of their faces, figured out how to rebuild their faces with Sculptra, whatever that was at the time, and lasers. So basically, Jenni, Dr. Siegel, built up my face with Sculptra, like basically rebuilds the structure.
Is that kind of a type of filler?
It's a filler that becomes, I believe, becomes collagen. So basically, the reason your face is falling is because estrogen creates collagen, which I did not know. Well, just like your vag, you can thick it down there. You can also mimic collagen. You can jumpstart collagen production by wounding underneath your skin. And then your skin has to go, and then your body goes to repair that and creates collagen. So yeah, it's a fucking bummer that we have to do this. And it hurts like a motherfucker and it costs money. So I know it's cost prohibitive, but sometimes dermatologists will give you a break because they know why you're in there. I only do it once every 2 years. But when I go down there, they give me a Vicodin and they do something called all therapy, which is like deep ultrasonic heat, which basically wounds you underneath and then it repairs. They do a hot microneedling, which does the same thing. They do this all in one day, by the way. And then she builds up the structure of my face.
Oh, I love that.
And I have seen the pictures of 10 years ago till now, and I do look better than 10 years ago but it's maintenance and it's a bummer. And
it's a full-time job is what it is.
It is, but I will tell you, when my face was rebuilt that first time, I bawled on my plane home because she gave me back my feeling pretty again, and even if you can't afford the Sculptra and all that, just look around at what might be affordable in terms of the lasers and shit that hurt, because if it's not hurting, it's not working. So
I know. I did the soft wave with Jason Diamond a few times, and yes, that hurts. I know we're getting off topic, Jenni,
but
there's always a beauty topic.
No, I think he's right. I think this is topic.
Women, right?
Yeah, this is topic.
Yeah.
I'm always like the face peels and all the things.
But no, it's really like, if you're thinking about estrogen, right, Paige, you want to wound yourself underneath, which sounds crazy, but that's what'll mimic it.
Yeah, and just to
well,
that point, sorry, I was just gonna say they've been doing that in the orthopedic world for years
Have they?
because our meniscus, if you think of them like knee meniscus, have you ever heard that term?
Yeah.
When they get worn down, they'll go in and do these little micro tears under
I
surgery to
didn't know
help promote
that.
that. So yeah, same collagen there. That's why we had a whole episode about exercise in menopause because the estrogen affects your tendons and cartilage. It's another reason why your body can feel lousy.
I'm learning a lot.
I'm sorry, Paige. What
As
were you
I'm
going to
I was
spreading
going to
my
say
faith with
estrogen, just
Evian.
the lack of estrogen, you're so dry too.
So dry.
You know, your skin is like horrifically dry. And I'm seeing this not from, having had cancer and gone through what you ladies have gone through, but, now being in my mid 40s and this perimenopause BS, I'm like, this sucks.
It does suck.
It really does suck.
And I'm kind of like, okay, what are we going to do? And I found a skincare line called One Skin, no affiliation with them, but it's peptides. It's made with peptides, and that's like all the rage and something I've been studying because I think there's going to be a place for that too, possibly in helping with some of the side effects and symptoms people have long term from cancer treatment.
If you recommend it, Paige, then it's already in my cart.
I use that. I actually use that.
Do you?
The décolleté and neck cream, it's like their hero product. I'm a beauty product whore.
Well, obviously, look at your skin. You haven't been doing any of this shit and you look so good.
I'm tons. I get like these monthly peels, but it's funny, Paige, you said about the peptides. My son is like, he's 17 and he's super into like working out and lifting and bulking up and then cutting down. Like he's like an encyclopedia of like knowledge. And he's like, just trust me, mom. He's like, the medical is going to be giving peptides for certain, like they're going to be prescribing this soon. He just said this to me last night because he's like, you should get on this for hormones but not just for mood because I want to kill everybody in my house right now because I am menopausal. And I thought I was over it and it's back.
That's another thing I'm going to say. Menopause. I didn't understand what it was doing to me mentally. So I knew that the hot flashes were horrible. And I also, Philomena prescribed 150 milligrams of this very old SSRI called Effexor. That cut my hot flashes. I get a quarter. I used to get a quarter of the one. I would get like 3 an hour. And I went to getting like 1 a day. So Effexor is something, again, nobody shares with anybody. And so they think I just have to have hot flashes forever. But also I think mentally I became really irritable, down. I felt very erratic, like my mood swings were crazy. And my husband kept saying, I think this might be menopause. Now, if you remember what it's like when a husband says, are you on your period? And I'm like, oh, you want to see me burn this motherfucking house down?
Right.
Say I'm crazy.
Those are fighting
I'm on
words.
my period. Say I'm fucking crazy. So I was like, nope. I'll tell you what it isn't. Menopause. It's you guys. I hate you.
I hate you. Oh, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Like maybe if you guys weren't assholes, then I wouldn't have to yell at everybody, but I do think if you're thrown into menopause overnight, you also need to understand you might be losing your mind for that reason.
No one prepares you for that.
And the lack of focus, like it's so hard. I'll start doing one thing. This is not who I used to be. And then I'm like trying to do 5 things at once and I totally forget. And then I just want to give up on everything.
100%.
I also lose words constantly. Does that happen to anyone else where you're like, so can you do the, and just
the brain fog is real.
Yes.
I think it's why it's like very hard to know. A lot of women get diagnosed with ADHD in their 40s. And I was like, maybe I have that. And who knows, maybe I do, but it was definitely menopause related too. Cause I can feel myself now 10 years later, I'm really past it. And to be honest, I'm not very nice. Like my other girlfriends are going through it now. And I'm like, I'm done. I was like, oh, you're hot. And now you're cold. Like I'm wearing sweat. I thought to myself, I'll never wear a sweater again. That sweaters are done for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm back to some sweaters sometimes.
So, wait, let me ask the Vagifem.
Yeah.
Is that what it's
or estradiol? Yes. Whatever.
Does that help besides building back the physical vagina? Does it help with the things you're saying, Jess? Like the mood swings and stuff, I hope?
No.
No.
It doesn't get in your bloodstream. It's just down there. The mood swings, you're kind of fucked. I would say though, like probably SSRIs, that kind of stuff. I'm on a mood stabilizer called Lamictal that helps me. Like I don't go up to a 10. I'm at a 6 to a 3, and that's really been helpful. I think finding a psychiatrist who's probably a woman who's dealt with this could be really helpful. Like I just feel like hit it on all sides because you deserve it.
You need a lot of support going through all this.
Yes.
It's because your hormones have gone completely out of whack with cancer and us blocking everything. And, for people who haven't had cancer that can have HRT, they get progesterone, which is like your mood calming hormone, and they can get testosterone and they can get all this stuff. And, I think it sucks for estrogen positive breast cancer survivors who have had a very aggressive cancer that can't benefit from that because it sucks, but they're coming out with more and more medication that's like not SSRIs that help with hot flashes. Veoza is one of them that got approved. There's a new one and I forget the name of it right now, but they're working on stuff.
I didn't know that. That is awesome.
That is awesome.
And they've done trials with them and, they're looking at different things. And my biggest thing for anybody is exercise, nutrition. But yes, mental health is such a huge piece too.
Can you talk a little bit about nutrition? Because I think I've heard lots of women say again, like, I don't want this cancer to come back. What can I do? And can become really overwhelmed, scared, obsessive. What's your quick takes?
So, people are like, oh, I should never eat meat again. I should be a vegan. I should do. And I think it's eating, as many whole foods as possible, a balanced diet. I'm a big fan of protein and like quality protein, not like processed from like a protein bar. And, if you want to have a steak or a burger, go for it. So I'm a big fan of just getting all your protein, your veggies. You can eat your carbs. I mean, everybody's seen all the stuff about alcohol. There's a lot of data now showing that, any little bit of alcohol can really increase your risk of cancer, 9 different types, but especially breast cancer. But, is it going to kill you to have a glass of wine here or there or a cocktail? No, you have to live.
Could I suggest something else that I've gotten involved in?
Sure.
A CANN beverage is the delicious thing you will ever drink.
What is that?
It has 2 milligrams of THC.
Ooh, nice.
It is the chill out of a glass of wine with 0 hangover. It's sweetened with agave syrup. It tastes like a goddamn soda. And it is like the best thing you've ever drunk. And it made me feel so much better because I was like, every time I had a glass of wine, even if it was once every 2 weeks, it's not fun to drink it and go, is it killing me? Yeah, it's not, but I couldn't enjoy myself. So I was like, I got to tell you, you were the first person to give me a marijuana prescription back in the day, Paige.
We had to write them with the gold plate on them.
Yes.
I was like, I say to people who are going through cancer, I'm like, don't be conscious of this. Do you want to remember this? No.
Right.
Be high as much as you possibly can. When you're not with your children, you're high. If you're not working, you're high. Don't be aware of this.
Well, I love that you mentioned that. You're a wealth of knowledge, by the way, for me. I can't imagine our listeners, but when I was going through chemo, you're so fucking sick and tired and all the things that, like, I remember, Paige, you giving me a prescription and I was like, I went down to like Buds and Roses to fill it up. And I was like, what kind? And I just felt, first of all, I didn't want to smoke anything because you're
right.
Just because you're like, to get up and like go outside and smoke a freaking joint. And then the edibles, I was just like, am I going to get nauseous? I don't know. This canned beverage, I'm going to try that too.
It is, guys.
I'm going to put it on my vagina as well.
Why not? No? Honestly, though, like, I also feel like in these days, in these hard days of life, I don't care what you've been through, it's hard to relax and like be in the mood to like do anything fun. And so it's like, to then say, and guess what? You can't have any mind altering substances ever. I'm like, fuck you. I don't take it all away. I'm really of the mindset, like, we can find a fix for almost everything. We just have to search for it. We have to have people like Paige who are like giving us the information. I always send patients who come to me to Paige, and I say, there's so many supplements we can take while we're going through. Afterwards, I'm going to book after this, book a session with you, Paige, because I feel like I know I'm depleted on some vitamins and stuff. But like, I just feel like I don't want women to feel like this is the end of being pretty, having sex, and having fun.
Yes.
And I think the same goes with food. I went to some scary, I know Paige got my rage end of this, but I went to some scary dietitians who were like, you're going to eat lentils for the rest of your life or you're going to die. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, I'm not doing that. And I can't, it's not sustainable. I tried it.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
did too.
It doesn't,
lentils are death.
Black lentils. Yep.
My mother remembers me like in the middle of chemo, like sitting down to like a bowl of lentils. And it's like, and I can't, for my body, I can't function without meat. Like, I don't eat red meat anymore and I don't miss it, but I can't, I just like, I'm too tired when I tried to be vegetarian. So like, yeah, Mediterranean diet. My husband also was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer the day of my last chemo. And he survived. And I say to all those stage 4 people out there, like, it happens, you can survive. But after his treatment, like a total psycho, I somehow got into like the heads of oncology at all these hospitals. And I said, what can we do to keep him alive? And they said the two things are a cardio exercise, at least 20 minutes a day, and a Mediterranean diet. Okay, we can do that. And I said, why don't you tell everybody this? And they said, well, honestly, Americans especially won't do it.
Yeah, it's weird.
They don't want to hear it. But it cuts the risk, right, Paige?
It does. And I think and then people get super scared because he had colon cancer. I also took care of him as well. It's the processed red meat, like the bacon, the prosciutto, that kind of stuff meats. That have like the nitrates, whatever. That's the stuff that you really need to stay away from. If you're getting like a good quality, and you shouldn't eat it like every night, but if you get a good quality, like grass-fed steak or, burger or something, it's okay. People are so scared, but generally, yes, the Mediterranean diet, the good fats like avocado, olive oil, you're eating your vegetables, you're eating fish, lean proteins. And I know not everybody can get the best quality of food because, stuff is very expensive. Yeah. People have lost jobs, but you do the best you can. It's just really unfortunate people who do need help with food get like Cheetos and soda. Like, great. Like, this is the stuff that,
I do love that you just said that we just do our best, because I think that's also really important. Like, it's really easy as a woman, particularly, to be like, I'm going to do the goddamn best at this. Yeah. Like, I'm going to do all of the things all of the time. And I think it's nice to like share that grit. Like, Chris and I talk a lot about grit and grace, and the idea that like, cut yourself some slack. Like, things are expensive. We don't have all the time in the world. Do your best. And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, there are going to be weeks where it's too busy. Like last week I couldn't work out. Okay. But like, I'll get back to it. Yeah. And I also think the one other thing I was going to say is like my knees, my joints started to like really feel it. And so they do give me the collagen injection, or is it collagen? What is it that they put in there? It's
PRP? Is it that one?
No, it's a gel. No, yeah. And sometimes you have to fight with your insurance to get them to approve it.
Yeah.
Right. But I basically said to them, he said, listen, if we do nothing, you're going to have to get a knee replacement at like 60, or we can do this. I am almost like, let's do it proactively, because you can't make collagen out of nothing. You can't help tissue out of nothing, really. So like, let's get ahead of it.
And that's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something. If you're feeling like your knees are cracking more or any of that, like, it's probably because the estrogen's affecting
totally. So physical therapy can be really helpful in that too. I have a friend who also a cancer survivor. She found when she was doing all of the things like not drinking alcohol, for her gluten really bothered her, but doing other things to lower the overall inflammation in her body, her knees would feel better. Like, she'd have less joint pain. So there is sort of, right, Paige, you could speak to that too.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, one of the new things, and they're looking at it in studies, everybody knows about the GLP-1, Ozempic, Wegovy, tirzepatide. There's phenomenal data coming out, not just for weight loss, like, and I know there's not like studies and saying like, a lot of people are microdosing them, meaning what that means is they're taking a half the dose of like the starting dose. So tirzepatide is like 2.5 milligrams. They're taking like 1 milligram a week or something, but they've seen such a reduction in like inflammation, cognitive, like it's helped with like cognitive abilities. They're seeing lower risk of dementia. And I feel like there's going to be a place for these.
I'm so glad you said that, Paige, because the one thing that was really hard about menopause, and I forgot, is that like I've done 20 pounds. I went from like never having to worry to like always having to worry. And I had every year the doctor would say, you got to lose weight, because every pound of fat is more estrogen. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't. And I tried everything and I was starving all the time. So finally, year and a half ago, I said, Philomena said, have you ever tried the GLPs? Like, why don't you just try that, microdose it? It took 10 pounds off, which was enough. And I cannot tell you the mental load it took off me, because it feels like you're failing somehow. And I'm like, oh, okay. Why? And of course, when Ozempic first came out and everybody was upset and rightly so that there wasn't enough and diabetics were not getting but like, we're at a point now where hopefully you can try to get it in some affordable way. My neighbor just got it. I don't know what place, but she got it for half off. But it feels like such a load off me, because I don't feel bad. I'm not afraid of my weight. And also I feel better. I can work out easier. My joints have less weight on them,
The more lean we are, the less chance of reoccurrence.
Correct.
Too. So for that, I can speak to myself and my friends with, 51 years old over here, and you're working harder and you still have that 10 pounds on you. And it doesn't matter how hard you're in the gym, doing the classes, doing the weights, you still got that 10 pounds. So I'm a fan as well.
Yeah. Is it the easy way? That's so crazy. I'm so tired of women like doing it the hard way. And like blaming themselves, right? Yeah. Like, oh God, if I didn't have this. No, you didn't do it to yourself. Men don't go into menopause like this. Right. It doesn't happen to them.
I mean, we give birth. Isn't that hard enough? Can't we take the easy path once in a fucking while? Jesus.
Thank you.
Okay.
But it isn't necessarily just the easy path, because you still have to work out and maintain your muscle, because those drugs can cause you to lose quite a bit of muscle, and muscle is your friend. It's going to support your bones, going to help your joints, keep your metabolism. But no, I think we're going to see more of that. And I know that they're working on trying to like lower the prices, because, they're making guidelines very hard to get them with insurance. Like, you have to be very obese. You have to like have documentation that you've done all these things. But, they're starting to lower the prices and make these more available. And there are some compounding pharmacies that will make them as well. But you have to find a really good, legit quality place to do that. You'll see a lot on the internet. People are selling, you can buy vials and mix them yourself. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't be doing chemistry at home. Yeah.
But something to ask is, sometimes your physician will have samples and you're like, can I get some samples? Like the first year I was on it, I just would show up and he would say like people are dropping off like boatloads of this stuff to doctors to recommend. He'd go, I have more than I need. Take it.
Okay.
But if you don't ask, you don't get it from New Jersey. You wouldn't know. I mean, maybe. Or like, I also did a treatment on my vagina. Now, I don't know how much it helped. I haven't done it in a long time, basically because I forgot, but something called the Mona Lisa, which is like
I heard about that. Yeah.
But my OBGYN was so lovely. She was like, I'm just going to charge you what it costs to turn the machine on. Like, don't be afraid to ask for a discount. We've been through too much. Use that big C card. Like,
Yep.
That is the Jersey way. That's the Jersey way right there. Yeah. My husband's from LA, and
it horrifies them.
He could like that. And I'm like, but now he's kind of meeting me in the middle.
What's the worst thing they can say? No.
Yeah. Right. Big deal. Big deal.
And one last thing, I know Ozempic comes in a pre-filled pen, and but you can adjust the pen. So if you're doing a micro dose, like you could buy that, with cash, but it might last you instead of like, I think it's got 4 doses in it, which is like your normal weekly injection. You can make it last for 8 weeks.
That's what I do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and it was
there's
enough.
ways...
It was enough to shift. If you really want to drop like 50 pounds, yeah, you got to crank it up, but see what the lowest will give you.
Well, some people are abusing it. We've all seen the people with the Skeletor faces and the thing. And those are probably, to your point, Paige, the people who aren't working out and eating, the protein shakes and the protein meals and all the things. I'm really bad with that, with eating enough protein, but I'm trying.
We'll have to do a whole episode on how to get protein because it is hard.
That is
not enough meals in the day.
Or lifting weights. That's a hard one for me.
No, I'm a class girl. I'm more of a class girl.
I also changed the way I worked out. Like, I mean, I hate running, but I used to do it, but it wasn't good for my knees anymore. So I found a bar method class that's like me and sometimes a lot of 80-year-old women, but God damn it, are these women flexible?
Those are hard, those classes.
They were hard. These women are doing it, but that's something like you finding an exexercise routine that's sustainable and that isn't going to damage you. Because right after cancer, I decided to go with my 23-year-old nanny to some boot camp. And I fucked up my everything. I was like, what the? You don't also want to do anything that makes you feel worse about yourself.
And then you hurt yourself. And now there go the next 4 months of exercise.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And then you're depressed.
Start with walking. That's what you need to start with.
Walking. Exactly. I love walking.
After treatment and after getting through cancer, I felt like when I was being taken care of by the womb of Cedars and Paige, I felt like everything that I was going to put in my mouth would be killing me.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? That whole like neurotic, like that's,
if you have any sugar, that's bad. I couldn't cut out. I mean, chocolate is in my life again.
Same.
I'm sorry. My husband cut it all out. Like, and I hate him for that. I wish I had that kind of willpower, but I don't. That's not gonna, I think you have to get out of the mindset that you gave yourself cancer.
You didn't.
I know. Well, it didn't run in my family. Did it run in your family? No.
Sort of in my father's sister, but like still, I think that the natural urge is to say, I want to control this. And how can I control this? But to say I gave this to myself. And I tell stories. I used to tell stories and I still do sometimes about, oh, well, I was working so hard. I was working 14-hour days and that's why I got it. Probably not. Right, Paige?
No, you didn't. You have a genetic mutation too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But I do still believe I gave it to myself.
No, but that puts you at higher risk. And not that this podcast is about me, but like I have a family history, and if we can on another episode talk about the Tyrer-Kruzik model where you can calculate out your breast cancer risk. And I'm over 20%, so I'm a high risk screener, and I get mammograms and MRIs constantly, and I've had biopsies, and like.
Is that what Olivia Munn did? Yeah, she took the test, right? She's a friend, and she's never been happier to have gotten that taken care of.
Yeah. Paige, let me ask you this, because this is a question I have been thinking about. Why are women still getting MRIs when mammograms when an ultrasound
is so much better.
So much better for us. It shows more from what, I don't know. You can answer that. But like, why do we have to do that middle step anymore?
So actually mammograms, so I have extremely dense tissue. They can never find anything. And then I get an MRI and they're like, oh, spot. We need a biopsy. But it can pick up calcifications. And that MRIs do not really pick, like, it's very hard to see calcifications. There's a lot of stuff on the internet which drives me insane, having worked in cancer for 20 years. And they're like, don't do a mammogram. It's going to kill you. You should do some, I don't know. Please go get your mammogram. They actually do save lives. There's been a lot of people, it's been found. But if you do have really dense tissue or you have a genetic mutation or you're for high risk, you're probably going to need an MRI. I went through a biopsy a year ago. They couldn't even see it on an ultrasound. I had to do it under MRI guidance because it was so deep and it was so far back. Jeez. And so, nothing is perfect, but go get your checkups.
Go through the motions. Yeah. I had a double mastectomy, so I don't get the mammograms, but I've just been hearing a lot of chatter. You're right, on the internet, and everybody wants to take a stand. And I just feel like there's balance. There's got to be balance to everything, right?
And the amount of radiation, I think a lot of people are freaked out about that. It's very little. Like I think they said you get more radiation in a plane flight than you do from
a
mammogram. But there's, a lot of people that they find their cancer on a mammogram. And Olivia is very lucky that her gynecologist did that risk model with her because.
Well, I just want to say too, like, I feel terrible bringing up a lot of these things that like just aren't available. Like, we live in Los Angeles. There are a lot of things available to us that aren't available anywhere else in the world. And people have different financial means. So, but I will say the one thing is that sometimes you have to ask 10 times before they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, I just heard of a friend who, unfortunately, a friend of a friend who, unfortunately, they were like, she found a lump and they're like, we can't see you for 6 months.
Ugh.
That's not okay. But okay, if that place won't do it, go somewhere else. If you don't get a good vibe from this oncologist, go somewhere else. If a plastic surgeon says, well, that's all we can do, and you don't think that's what you want to do, go somewhere. There's a million people who do this. But sometimes you just have to keep asking.
It's the squeaky wheel, right?
Absolutely. It's the one place, medicine is the one place where the squeaky wheel will get you the grease, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think we could probably keep talking for days. So maybe we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely.
Thank
love
you.
It was
fun. So much.
And Jess, can you tell people where they can find you?
Sure. The Deep Dive podcast I host with my one of my best friends, Diane Raphael. You can get that anywhere you get your podcast. And I will also say my husband wrote a book called The Survivor's Notebook. It's a book of poetry about his couple years after. And you can get that anywhere, Amazon, anywhere, but it might be a nice poetry can sometimes speak to you in a different way that hits you,
Yeah.
So if
I have a copy.
Yes, Paige has a copy.
Exactly. He sent me a signed copy.
There you go. You save someone's life. They give you a signed copy of their book. Is that worth
on
it?
Amazon? That's on Amazon?
Dan O'Brien is his name.
And Paige, people can work with you even. Can you share what you're doing and how they can find you?
Sure. So I've had a cancer coaching consulting practice for almost 5 years. I launched it in February 2021. It's called Functional Cancer Care. It's all telehealth. And I don't accept insurance because I just do coaching, consulting, and I work with people all over the country. And you can follow me at Functional Cancer Care, or you can email me at paige@functionalcancercare.com.
Yeah.
Love to work with you.
Internationally, people have worked with you even.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, I've had some people from Canada and Jess has sent me a lot of people.
It's so worth it. It's so we got her for free, and how lucky were we? Because as much as chemo sucked, boy, did we had a real reduction in everything that could have gone wrong. Yeah,
she's great. I do also want to mention Paige doesn't take insurance because insurance won't pay for it. So I don't want anyone
they won't.
We need to hate on the insurance companies
always and forever.
Yes.
I do this because I've worked in conventional medicine and you don't have enough time to spend with patients and tell them all this stuff. And there's so many things that I love, like, deep diving into like labs and making you feel better and working with supplements and food and whatever. And you don't have time to do that in a normal visit. So yeah, I'm happy to see anybody.
Great. And we'll definitely have you guys back. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for having us.
So much.
Thank you guys.
Did you stop recording? What part of Jersey are you from, Jess?